that we get to those, and we'll go through those and make sure we provide answers to any questions. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's see if I can get my screen to move here. There we go. In just 5 days, I can't believe it's here, but we go live and we'll be rolling out volunteer systems to Girl Scouts around the world. We will join 109 stateside councils in adoption of a consistent operating model and technologies to support it. So this is going to mark the first time GSUSA has reached this level of alignment across the Girl Scout movement. And I think our ability to bring these new systems and resources to overseas members will help us expand our global footprint, which I think is really exciting. So for those of you that are maybe new to this, and this is the first time you're attending a webinar with us, just what is CEI? Well, CEI is a movement-wide business transformation with new processes and tech tools to improve volunteers and girls' experiences, and ultimately help us reach even more girls and volunteers more quickly and more efficiently than we've ever had the ability to do. So there are 3 key tools that support the initiative. There is the National Web Platform, which USAGSO has been on for a while now. What's exciting about the web platform is it speaks in one voice. So all of the councils that have adopted this initiative have the same voice, the same messaging around the national content, and it's really driven by the national office. We're still working on building more USAGSO specific content for the website, but it's coming. Then there's Volunteer Systems, which is fueled by Salesforce and will, for us, bring to us online registration as well as a new and different way and tools to really look at and analyze our data. And then finally, the Volunteer Toolkit, which is this digital, online, mobile-friendly resources for our troop leaders that will help them manage their troops and plan and deliver content to the girls in a more efficient and effective way, again, than we've ever had the opportunity to do. So what does it really mean for USAGSO? Well, access to volunteer systems is going to allow our staff team to better connect with and support you, our volunteers, whether it's the overseas committees or troops. Our team, as you know, are located in just a few offices around the world, so New York, Italy, Japan, but we're supporting volunteers in nearly 90 countries around the world. So with that, distance, time differences, travel costs really limit our ability to directly connect with our members. So we've established a new customer care line that literally rings in every office at the same time, which will allow you to access staff in a new way and hopefully get answers to your questions in real time. We also have a customer care email account that goes again to multiple locations, so whoever is available is able to answer questions and get the quickest response to you. Our restructured staff team puts more staff in member supporting roles and places them overseas so that they're closer to our members, again, so you have better access. And then access to the dashboard and other tools will actually increase our ability to, to support our volunteers, but also give us insights into the local programs like we've never had before so that we can better adapt the resources and get you the tools that you need to be successful. We're going green, so we're eliminating paper. GSUSA's old systems didn't work for us overseas, and so USAGSO has been 100% dependent upon volunteer paper registration forms. So, as you can imagine, shipping registration forms was expensive, scanning and emailing registrations forms is not the most secure way to handle registrations, and so we're really looking forward to having that online registration system. We're going to have improved access to program resources. So for you, having those resources available and free, I think, is really exciting. Overseas shipping is extremely expensive. In some countries, on top of the shipping fees, there are customs fees that really make having the newest resources pretty challenging for our volunteers and for our girls. Sometimes, of course, we've had shipments that have been tampered with or just simply never arrive. So having a digital resource through the VTK is really going to be a game changer. Parents, for the first time ever, will really have access into what's happening in the troops, and we'll be able to really see what those plans are and have a better and deeper understanding and awareness of what the program is intended to do and what you're delivering on the ground. And hopefully that will result in even more parent involvement. Registrations, because of the online system, we're going to be able to register and renew registrations in a more quick and efficient method than we've ever done before. And then finally, councils who've gone live on the system and have been live for a while have seen volunteer time cut in more than half, going anywhere from 200 hours down to under 100 hours per year, which is a huge, huge benefit, and will allow our volunteers to spend less time doing paperwork and administrative work and more time doing the things that you really signed up to do, which is spending time with the girls. So while this is great and wonderful for our volunteers, ultimately what this means is we will have a better ability to reach more girls, and girls will have more opportunities to become go-getters, innovators, risk takers, and leaders. I have a little video here to share with you.
When I think about Girl Scouts, what comes to mind? Happiness, confidence, new friends, fun. Girl Scouts provides girls with benefits way beyond their school years. Just take a look at how many successful women have one big thing in common. What is it? Girl Scouts, of course. Research shows that Girl Scout alumni are confident, generous, engaged, educated, secure. But before they became successful women, Girl Scouts helped them shine at school and beyond. Girl Scout leadership experience is hard at work. Whether she's building her cookie business, programming her very own robot, or making a rain garden with her troop, she's learning to overcome challenges, solve problems, and to lead. Through Girl Scouts, girls learn to recognize their strengths and the things they do well. They learn to be a better team member and get to know new people in their schools and communities. And whether they go to camp or write code, Girl Scouts do big things. Girls who do take action projects, especially girls who earn a bronze, silver, or gold award, address the issues they care about the most while making a difference in their community. Girl Scouts who have monthly outdoor experiences are better problem solvers and don't back away from the challenge. And the Girl Scout cookie program helps girls develop critical skills like goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics that will help them shine in whatever careers they choose. So what's the bottom line? The majority of Girl Scouts describe themselves as leaders and are more likely to think of female leaders in a positive way. How do we know all this? The Girl Scout Research Institute. Learn more today at girlscouts.org/research.
So in December 2016, the Girl Scout Research Institute surveyed girls, both Girl Scouts and non-Girl Scouts, to assess the role of Girl Scouts in helping girls attain the 5 GSLE outcomes. The study found that Girl Scouts provides the differentiating factors that benefit girls. So compared to non-Girl Scouts, Girl Scouts are more likely to be community problem solvers. They contribute to the world in purposeful and meaningful ways, learn how to identify problems in the community, and create action plans to solve them. Girl Scouts develop and maintain healthy relationships by communicating their feelings directly and resolving conflicts constructively. Girl Scouts take appropriate risks. They try things, even if they might fail, and they learn from their mistakes. And Girl Scouts have confidence in themselves and their abilities and are happy with who they are as people. In addition, girls act ethically, honestly, and responsibly and show concern for others. So all really wonderful, wonderful things. And the thing is, we know that the impact lasts, and the proof is in our alumni. So Girl Scout alumni are more likely to vote, to be involved in their communities, and feel optimistic about their futures than women who are not Girl Scouts. And by the way, they're more likely to go to college and likely to earn more money too. So this is really why Girl Scouts invested in and launched the Customer Engagement Initiative, and why it's so important for us as a movement to be moving in the same direction at the same time. It makes it easier for our volunteers to create a rich and consistent Girl Scout experience that builds the next generation of go-getters, innovators, risk takers, and leaders. That's really why we're here. So before I get to questions and answers, I want to take a minute to recognize my team and acknowledge the endless hours, and I do mean endless hours, and tremendous effort that they've put into making these resources available to our members. So to put things in context a little bit, a council of similar size, so a council that's supporting roughly 15,000 members, has on average 51 staff members. USA Girl Scouts Overseas has a team of 18. And just like our volunteers and our families, our staff team moves on average every 3 to 5 years. So this year we've had transitions, we've had vacancies, and that means that our implementation team, which is pictured here, so our implementation team of 8 people, with the help of 6 other team members, took on the work that teams at a council of 50 plus would have done this last year. In addition to that, they had some extra work because we had to serve as the business lead for the special technology build that was needed to make the system that was operating in the States work for us overseas. So it was truly a huge lift for this team. It took a lot of time, a lot of effort, and leading this initiative was Amanda Newcomb, who's on the call today with me. Amanda literally joined Girl Scouts a year ago. So, talk about jumping into the deep end of the pool. She really had to dive in and quickly get up to speed, not just with Girl Scouts, but this entire new initiative. The other person whose efforts I really want to point out is Tamara Lynch, our data administrator. She led the data cleanup. So remember, we were 100% dependent upon paper, and in order to migrate our data over to the new system, we had to ensure that all of the information that needed to be there for every single registration was there and clean, and everything was consistent. She led a team to a 99.98% success rate. And going from 100% paper, that is kind of unheard of. So this team has really done amazing work this year. And I'm very proud of all they've accomplished. I hope they're very proud of all they've accomplished. When I think about it, I just get this image of trying to push a train uphill without tracks, and that's what they've done. So I just want to congratulate this team and thank them for all of their hard work and effort. So one of the things that the team has done over the last several months is really listen to our volunteers. We wanted to hear questions, we wanted to hear concerns, we wanted to hear suggestions on everything related to this system as we were preparing to roll it out. And we've put together a list of common questions as luckily with the help of some volunteer champions, we've put together some answers and recommendations around each of the common questions. So I'm going to walk through those first, and then we'll open up and answer any questions that you might have today. So the first is, will OCMTs be notified when girls register for troops that don't yet have leaders? And the answer is yes. USAGSO will be sending our OCMTs regular reports alerting you to all registrations. What do we do if girls transfer in from a stateside council or another overseas community? Well, if a girl is transferring in, the process is going to be fairly similar to what it is today. What that means is that the girl's former counsel will need to contact USAGSO to initiate the transfer in the system. So you can either have the girl's parent or the troop leader contact the former counsel and ask for the transfer to be initiated. And then once USAGSO receives the request, we'll be able to make the change in the system pretty easily. So if a girl is transferring from one country to another but staying within USAGSO, just let us know and we'll make sure that the new OCMT is aware of the girl's arrival, and then it's a really easy switch in the system for us to make the transfer happen. So do you register each daughter separately, or can you register multiple girls and adults at the same time? So through the new system, you can add other memberships to your registration all at the same time. So when you get to the confirmation page, you'll be able to select Add Another Member, and that link is going to take you back to the first page to start that additional registration. Then once you've confirmed all of your membership selections, you'll be able to pay for all of them all in one transaction. Is the VTK primarily for leaders, or is it useful for other volunteer positions like treasurer or secretary? So the VTK is primarily a troop leader tool. It is also for parents. So the parents have a parent view, and they will be able to see their daughter's progress through the Girl Scout year. But unless someone in a treasurer type of role is also a troop leader or is a parent, then they would not have access to the VTK. So I would say similarly, the next question is, how does the treasurer, secretary, registrar, etc. work in the new online system? So again, the system really is designed for troop leaders, and other positions at this point don't really have access to work within the system. There are a few things I think that will be dependent upon the community and may change as you gain experience in the new business process. So at the moment even, we are not putting OCMT positions in the volunteer opportunity catalog. It's something that we can work on in the future, and we'll do so depending on the needs of your community. So who can see the troop agenda besides parents? Will USAGSO be able to see what we do or don't do? The answer is no. USAGSO won't have access to your individual VTK. We're able to sort of do some back-end work and reset things in the system if needed. And we are certainly happy to provide support, but we don't have access really to the troop level VTK. The only thing that we're going to see is from a higher level. We'll know what troop is using the VTK year plan options and which options they're using, but we won't see the individual plans. Does USAGSO suggest a minimum number of girls in a troop? So per GSUSA recommendations, the desired troop size is 12 girls. It's pretty interesting because GSUSA has been doing some initial research looking at girl satisfaction rates and net promoter scores as well as those of parents. And troop size is really emerging as one of the top factors influencing satisfaction and net promoter scores. The research is showing that troops of 12 really seem to be the optimal size. So we know overseas that hitting a troop size of 12 may not even be an option in some of our smaller locations. And we also know that we have many troops that exceed 12. That's okay. Ultimately what we're suggesting is accept girls at least until the point of 12. So if you have a troop of 8 and another girl wants to join, we'd want to let that girl join. If you're above 12, we want to make sure that we have the adult-girl ratios in place so that the girls have the best possible experience. But ultimately, we really want to keep troops open until we at least hit a membership of 12. So will OCC's troop leaders have any reporting capabilities without waiting for a report from USAGSO? So at the moment, all reports have to be done by USAGSO. we will have the ability to do some automated reports, which will go directly to members of the OCMT. And at this point, we are planning on setting up the automated reports to go out weekly. We can cut back on that. We can scale back if it becomes too much for our volunteers, but we're planning on once a week at this point. The other thing that I will say is troop leaders will have access to some reports that they haven't had in the past. So when you've mailed or sent in registrations to USAGSO, we've had to enter them into the system. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes even months, depending on the time of the year, to get all of the registrations in, and then we have to send you troop rosters, and we cross-check them. In the new system, when someone registers online, the troop leader will automatically see that person in their troop roster. So rosters update in real time. So there won't be that lag time, at least in getting the troop roster information. So those are our most common questions. I do want to open it up now to other questions. I'm going to ask Amanda to jump in and help me walk through any questions that may have come in through the chat box at this point.
Hi, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. We actually don't have any questions in the chat box that I can see or in the question log.
Wow. Okay. So
we had a lot. Here one just came in a second ago. So Rebecca asked, will girls be allowed to register if a troop is full?
So if a troop is full, what will happen is if a parent goes in to register a girl, they'll go to the opportunity catalog, and if they're not seeing any openings, then they have a couple of options. One is, I mean, they wouldn't complete the registration and would get some email prompts to do so that we could reach out to them. They have an option of choosing unsure or choosing an option to individually register. If either of those things happen, USAGSO, through those automated reports, will let the Overseas Committee know, and we can work with the OCMT and the troop leaders to either open some additional slots in a troop or work with the individuals to form some new troops.
Thank you. And more questions are pouring in. Good. Becky asks, will you send the OCMT, OCC, or registrars a report before we go live so we can double check our troop times limits are correct?
Within the opportunity catalog is how I'm taking that. Amanda, I may have you answer this because I'm not quite sure that we had planned to do that. I'm thinking the best option might be for OCMTs to go onto the system on Monday and make sure that the opportunity catalog looks okay. But is there another way that we can do that?
So what I would say is we did send out information to OCMTs to provide us with the information that they want to have in the opportunity catalog. So Becky, if this is something that you can share with us before the 28th, ASAP, because it's coming up very soon, we can check and make sure that we have the right information in the opportunity catalog for your community. So if you can get that to us beforehand, that would be great. And you can get that to us through the screen that's shown right now, which is our overseas customer care at girlscouts.org email address.
Great.
Okay. Haley asks, will troop leaders receive an email every time a new person registers or just every time they log into the VTK?
Troop leaders will log into the VTK, so they can log in and pull up their troop reports. They won't get an email prompt every time someone joins a troop. Correct, Amanda?
Yeah.
Double checking with you on that one. That's a good question because
that is a good question. I believe they actually do get an email every time.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an automatic email.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah, they'll also get an email when someone is interested in volunteering with their troop. As an adult volunteer in the opportunity catalog. Okay, Aaron asks, can you clarify how financial payments will work? USAGSO collects their fees via the registration, but what about the fees we need at the local level?
Yeah, so the online system will collect a couple of fees. It collects the national membership fee as well as the council service fee. Overseas committee fees, so those fees that are charged locally, and this is predominantly in our expatriate communities. Our military communities typically don't charge an overseas committee fee. So if you're from a military community, don't be alarmed. But if you're charging an overseas committee fee, then that's a process that you'll continue to maintain on the ground. We don't have the ability to customize those fees within the system. So we have committees that charge different fees, and we can't customize it per committee. So that's a process. We can certainly give you some ideas, and we have some overseas committees that have sort of worked with us around different ways that they're going to manage that, but it's just going to be a slight change in business process for the local overseas committee.
And one thing to consider, Erin, is that in each of the opportunities listed in the opportunity catalog, there's a description section, and we have automatically put in each of those description sections that there may be additional troop or community level fees associated with the membership. So at least the members are getting that information at the same time that they're registering with Girl Scouts. Okay, Carol asks, hi Carol, how can one adult be a leader for multiple troops?
So one adult can be a leader for multiple troops.
Do you want me to take it?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, you know, one of the things we obviously recommend that to keep volunteers from burnout, right? That we want to limit that if possible, but we also know our realities, and it's very common for people to volunteer for more than one troop. So Amanda, go ahead and walk through in the system how one registers for more than one troop.
So an adult can register for to be a troop leader in more than one troop. You'll have to sort of do it separately through the system, but you can add that to your membership. And then with the VTK, you will see the troops, the separate troops that you are the troop leader for in your access to the VTK on through the system. You won't be able to like work them at the same time. You'll have to, you know, sign out of one and then go into the next one and update your VTK that way, but you will have access to VTK for the troops that you're listed as a troop leader. Okay, will troops be able to limit or not accept mid-year enrollments due to where girls are in their patch process?
That's a good question. I will tell you, just from a Girl Scout perspective, we do encourage all of our troops to be open to allowing girls to join even mid-year, and know and understand that sometimes it gets a little tricky depending on where you are in terms of the patch earning process. A couple of great things about the system that might actually make it easier for you to do so. One is that parent view. Parents will actually have access to the steps to earning the badges that you've worked on, and could potentially work with new girls, you know, girls that are coming in, could work with their daughters to catch them up to where the troop is. Also, you know, I know we have some troops that have some of the girls who have been in the troop buddy up with the new girls to help catch them up. So I would encourage that option before limiting or not opening your troop to new girls. However, if there are, you know, really good reasons why you can't allow other girls into the troop, we will work with you on that, and we can certainly work within the opportunity catalog to make sure that the opportunities that are truly available are what are showing up there.
Okay. One of the questions is this: if a troop leader gets periodic troop rosters, will it contain personal contact information for each girl, or do leaders need to collect that information separately? Oh, I like this question. We have a good answer for you.
Well, why don't you go ahead and answer, Amanda?
Okay. So the troop leaders will get the personal contact information for each girl. The troop leaders within the VTK will have their troop roster. So in that troop roster on the VTK, they will have all of the contact information for the girls, their parents, email addresses, phone numbers. So it's all online in that platform. So you no longer have to have various address books lying around for your troops. You'll see it directly in your VTK on your computer or phone. And in the other great thing about the VTK is that you can actually email directly from your troop roster to the parents. And so there's a lot of flexibility and options to be able to keep in touch with the parents in your troop.
Great.
Becky asked, my concern is if the girls got moved between troops, that their slots are available if possible after we sent you the data, that they all got placed in the right spots. So this is about the opportunity catalog, and Becky had a question about that earlier, wanting to see if the OCC can see what's listed in the opportunity catalog, because she has this concern.
Okay, I want to make sure I understood it correctly. So the concern is there are opportunities listed in the catalog, they are full, but the opportunities are still showing and additional girls maybe joining? Is that the concern?
I think she's worried that if the girls were moved between troops, that there may be, that I just think that she's just worried about the slot availability, that girls maybe have moved, or there are openings now available in troops that weren't there, or the can even be the concern, vice versa. So I understand she's just worried that the information in the opportunity catalog actually reflects.
Today. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Becky, I think that's a great question or concern. And I know that with our overseas committees, sometimes, especially as troops are still forming, so you may have put information or given us information for the opportunity catalog, and then things have shifted locally, and it may not, the opportunity catalog may not accurately reflect what's happening on the ground. The best thing to do is, as those shifts happen, is contact us and let us know. So the information is on the screen that you're seeing, Overseas Customer Care at girlscouts.org. But contact us so that we can update. It's a back-end process to make the changes in the opportunity catalog. I apologize. I have dogs barking in the background, so I apologize for that. But the quicker you can get us the information, then we can update it and make sure that the catalog reflects really what the opportunities are on the ground.
Thanks. If a girl moves to our troop from another country, can we contact USAGSO to initiate the transfer? You mentioned that the former council will have to request it.
Yeah, I think especially moving within USAGSO, you could certainly contact us, and we can make that transfer happen. It gets a little more complicated. Yeah, it's much easier within USAGSO, but if it's from a stateside council, then it's a little bit different.
Haley asks, can we add additional troops if necessary?
Absolutely. I hope that's a great problem that we'll have. So yes, it's just contacting us again, and we can get additional troops set up in the opportunity catalog. If you're coming in with troops that are already full, then we can help you with that process as well.
If a girl registers in a troop that doesn't have any leaders, how will it be handled?
Yeah, great. So I kind of mentioned this before, but the families or parents registering will have a few options. So they'll go onto the online system, fill out some basic information, and then will be directed to the opportunity catalog where they will see whether or not there are opportunities available right now within that area. They'll also see if there are opportunities for volunteering. So, so that's a possibility as well, that they could see a troop listed, but that troop still needs 2 volunteers. they can either hold off and wait to register and find out some more information first, or they can go ahead and register and choose an unsure option, so not quite sure what troop the daughter would go into, or they can choose an option to individually register. If they choose either of those options, then the Overseas Committee would receive that information and can follow up and work with them on finding a troop or getting some troop leaders for the troop. Amanda, do you have anything to add to that?
Nope, that sounds great. Aaron asks, will you be supplying any flyers or handouts for registration for troops to hand out to prospective scouts to be downloaded or printed at our location?
Oh, that's a great question. We actually have a new brochure that we have available digitally. Amanda, where could they access that? Brochure?
Our brochure is on our website at www.usagso.org, and it is in the forms and documents section of our website as a PDF.
Yeah, so it's a really nice new brochure. Amanda put it together, so kudos to Amanda for it. We also have additional resources that are really GSUSA resources that we can also make available, and many of those can be customized. So if you want to advertise a particular recruitment event or things like that, you can customize it and put in the specifics of those things. So Amanda, do we have some of those resources currently on the website? And if not, we can get them there.
Yeah, no, we don't have those currently on the website. Aaron, what I would recommend is to email overseascustomercare@girlscouts.org, and we'll get you in touch with the staff who's managing sort of those recruitment activities. And we'll also get it up on the website. Unfortunately, I'm business lead and I'm managing the website, so there's a bit of a lag in between doing both. I apologize. Haley asks, will co-leaders have the same access as leaders to the VTK?
Yep, great question, and yes, they will. So any leader, co-leader that's associated with a troop will have the same access, and what's great about the VTK is that leaders can work in real time with one another, can update lesson plans or activities within the VTK, and their co-leader will have access and will see that immediately. So it's similar to Google Docs. They can both be updating information in there.
And back to Becky's question, she wants to make sure, this is about the opportunity catalog and making sure the right information is in there. She wants to make sure her leaders with 12 girls don't get overloaded accidentally. And Becky, just to help make you feel a little more comfortable about that, we have set in the system that the troop is set at 12, and so if you already have met your 12 girls, then it won't appear in the opportunity catalog because you've already met your maximum number. If you want us to open it so there are more spots available, we can do that. Just let us know. But at least if you have 12 girls, you won't have to worry about then an additional 20 coming into some troop. But it won't appear in the catalog if you've already met your maximum.
And Amanda, you might want to clarify too, just the registration or the individuals who have been carried over into the new system. So the data that's migrated is both 2017 existing members, so for this membership year, as well as those who have early birded. So in a situation where you had a troop of 12 in 2017, but perhaps not everyone early birded for 18, how will that work in the system?
So if you have, sorry, I was distracted. I apologize. If you have the 12 and there are 6 of the 12 early birded, then you'll have 6 spots available in the opportunity catalog. That will be system generated, and you can make those changes if you need to make changes and want to increase it. But the system automatically sort of calculates how many spots based on your maximum amount and dependent on how many girls are associated with the troop. Did that answer your question? I apologize.
Yeah, I just wanted you to clarify since we're at that strange time right now. in the
Yes,
membership year.
this is very strange. So yes, we know we'll have to. I'm sure there will be a lot of updates, and we're happy to work really quickly with you on those updates to the opportunity catalog as needed. Will we be able to modify the opportunity catalog once it goes live? Haley asked. Yes, you will, Haley.
Yep, it has to be done on the back end. So that's, again, contacting USAGSO at overseascustomercare@girlscouts.org, and we can make any updates to the opportunity catalog that you need.
Yeah. Aaron, if we are a troop that has been caught in the registration limbo, will the troop leader or registrar be able to enroll our girls in the system?
I'm assuming that registration limbo means that you have paper registrations that that weren't sent in to us by the deadline, and so now you're holding on to them. And if that is the case, then yes, you could go ahead and enter those registrations directly into the system once we go live.
How does troop placement work for multi-level troops?
So in the opportunity catalog, the troops will be identified as multi-age level and with the age levels listed. So a parent could, you know, as long as they're within that age level, choose that as an option. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, and
Okay.
also just to add to that, within the VTK, if the troop leader is identified as a multi-level troop leader for Daisy Brownies and Juniors, she will have access to all of those year plans in order to customize the year plan to fit your multi-level troop. So there is multi-level troop access in the VTK, which is a new feature. So I'm excited that we have that for our members because we have a lot of multi-level troops.
We do indeed.
For lifetime members who are serving as committee members or troop leaders, do they use the same registration process?
Lifetime members will need to go in each year and update their registration. There will be no fee, obviously, because they are lifetime members, but they will update it every year and would be prompted to do so.
And they will have access to, if they're a troop leader, they will have access to their troop VTK, just the same as all other troop leaders. Okay, to create a new Daisy troop, what is the process?
There are many steps, I would say, because, well, one thing I'll preface with is the technology doesn't replace the person-to-person interaction. So you'll continue to do recruitment events, you know, on the ground and continue to recruit locally. But in terms of the system, what you would do is contact us when you want to start a new troop and make sure that we get the opportunities into the catalog. So that's providing a description of what that troop might be, what volunteer opportunities are open, as well as how many girl opportunities you want to list in the catalog. And we'll go ahead and get that set up for you. If you have done some recruitment on the ground, you know you already have volunteers, you may even have a couple of girls. That's also information you'll want to let us know so that we don't open up those spots on the catalog, but you can prompt people to go in and register, and we can get them assigned to the correct new troop.
Okay, and Aileen says that about the OCC Lisbon email, and she hasn't received the instructions on how to do it. I guess she's trying to access the new USAGSO Gmail accounts. Aileen, we'll make sure that a staff member reaches out and contacts you. Okay. Those are all the questions that I have in the question log. Are there any more?
Let's see. Yeah, if you have a couple, you can raise your hand if you have a question, or go ahead and type into the log.
And Haley mentioned she can't find the new brochure online, so I will take a look at that, Haley, and see where that is.
Yeah. And maybe we can just send out the digital copy.
Sure.
No more questions?
Is any? I don't. Let's see. Nothing coming in. Wait a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I don't see any hands raised.
All right.
Oh, one came in. How do independently registered Girl Scouts Juliets register if they aren't attached to a specific troop?
Yep, so that'll be an option in the opportunity catalog, and it's an option that will always be there. So any girl can go in, or parent can go in and register their daughter as an independently registered girl or a Juliet. So it'll be in the system.
And the nice thing too is that the OCMT will have a list of who are the Juliets within their community. So if they want to reach out to those Juliets when they're community events, they will have that information. Okay, a couple more. Heather asked, is the VTK fully updated with the new technology and outdoor curriculum and badges?
It is. In fact, the new program content that was released, the new journeys that were released this summer, were only released on the VTK. So I think that's really exciting also, that this is going to give all of you access to the latest program content.
And Deanne asked a good question. What's the best way to encourage registration at recruiting events with no registration form to hand out? Is there a concern that the parents will forget about it once they go back home?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think there are a few different things you can do depending on what resources you have available locally. I know that some overseas committees are planning on having iPads or even computers, if there's internet access available at your recruitment location, and can have parents go ahead and literally join right there and then. Then it's all taken care of. Another few things that you could do, you could have something, of course, that that's a handout with the email address so that they can go right in and register as soon as they get home. I would suggest that you, if you're going that route, that you also are taking names and email addresses so that you can follow up with people to ensure that they have registered, or if they aren't appearing on rosters, that you contact them so that they can get registered. But a couple of different ways. I think if you have internet access, that's the greatest thing, is just to be able to have them register right there and then. The other thing, they could use a cell phone to do that. So if they have a phone, they could register, or at the very least have them go in and fill out the very first opening page of registration, even if they don't completely finalize the registration on hand. That way the information, the contact information, is captured within the system, and they can get the email prompts then to remind them to go in and finish the registration. So a few different ways that you can work that.
Okay, that was the last question in the question log.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. We go live in 5 days, so super exciting. But if you have additional questions, either between now and then or after we go live, just reach out to that overseas customer care at girlscouts.org or the phone number listed below. That's also our customer care line. And we are going to do our very best to get questions answered as quickly as possible. But just know that we are there to support you, and we'll do everything we can to make this transition as easy as possible for you. So with that, I want to say thanks for attending today, and definitely reach out if you have any questions. Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks.